So we open some shutters because we want to protect the windows as much as possible from the outside and possible debris, and then you can have a fantastic view. So here we see our Soyuz, and behind it the Progress that we just visited both. And if you look down, you see the Russian segment, and on the end you see the automated transfer vehicle at the very end, where we also were. If we turn it around, we see the PMM, which is the cellar that we saw, and here we see the front of the space station with left Columbus, here the US lab in the middle, and on the other side we see the GEM, but the external platform, and here we see part of the truss with the big solar panels. And if you look straight up or down, and I think we're looking yes at the Amazon, great view. We're going to take a look outside. And this is the hatch that I opened up and went outside for a spacewalk, and we're looking aft on the space station. There's a ladder, some solar panels. We're looking at the service module, Zvezda, and looking at our beautiful planet Earth. Let's see if we get a nice little view here of Earth. A little small treat. There's no tour of the space station would be complete without it.
Alright, we're back in Node 3. Gonna head nadir into the cupola. Got some sunlight now. And this is our best viewing spot on the world. Come on in. Straight out of the way. Very good. You see we have full of cameras up here. And of course, robotic workstation, just like in the lab. And there's a beautiful Earth. So we can hang out. You see the arm? I don't know if you can see the arm there. It's set up. It's on the top, or sorry, on the bottom of Node 2. It's connected to it right there. And that's the position that we use to grapple the cargo vehicles, SpaceX and Cygnus and HTV. And it goes in right on Node 2. Just a little bit forward of where it's grappled to Node 2 is where we berth those vehicles. And if you come right here, then you can see to the right is the Japanese, the GEM, which we'll go to shortly, along with the exposed facility out there. That's part of the Japanese Module 2 when we have experiments that are outside, and we have a Japanese arm that can move those around and do work on those. You can see right now, if a little bit more to the right, you'll see actually a launcher that we've been launching small satellites off of right there, which is kind of cool. That's kind of nice to watch those go by. If you go back to the left over here, you're going to see the PMM, which is our storage vehicle. It's right there. Made by the Italian Space Agency, as you can see, Ozzy. As you go farther aft, you'll see first is a Progress.
No, that's my spaceship.
It is. That is Tonto's Progress right there.
Oh, it's a Soyuz.
I know that. He's giving you a hard time. He's a cargo, so you know. No, it is a Soyuz. It is a Soyuz because it says so on there, and it is it's the one that 39S crew came up on, and then behind that is a Progress, and not just a Russian cargo vehicle. And as you go around, that's pretty much what you can see out here. You got solar arrays, of course, on each side. If you go over this side, all the way over, you can see the solar array on the port side. Gives you kind of view what it is like from outside out here on the station. But this is the best part out here though, is looking down at Earth. We try to do that as much as possible. Unfortunately, we don't get near as much time as we'd like. They make us do work. Let's go on back.
Oh my goodness, it's beautiful up there. So this is looking out the port side of the space station, and we're actually also on the front side, so front port side of the space station. And let's take a look what we can see out there. We can see the robot arm I was talking about, the GEM RMS. Those orange things are the solar arrays on the port side. And you can see we have a full set, and 15A STS-119 is going to be bringing up these the last solar array on the starboard side. And take a look. There's our beautiful blue planet there. And looking at this and where we are, I'd say we're over the South Indian Ocean. You can actually see some icebergs down there. So we're actually probably between Africa and Antarctica. You can actually see the different shades of the blue water.
This is the cupola. It sticks down below the space station. It's one of those places you find yourself hanging out in all the time because all you want to do is look back at our planet. I think some questions I had were about what do you do in your free time? And you can't help but want to just come to the cupola and look outside as much as you can. And a lot of folks, I play this game with myself about where we're flying over the Earth. Try to come in here and just guess. After being here for a little while, you can sort of figure it out. You can tell different cloud types over different continents. You can tell different soil types over different continents. So let's see. And then, of course, there's a lot of ocean. So usually we're over the ocean at first glance. I will tell you in just a moment where we are. There we go. So right now we are right over Africa. It's a little bit cloudy, as you can tell, but we're right over the continent of Africa. Hey, what's that? I think that's a Soyuz spacecraft. That's the spacecraft that's taken us home to planet Earth today. Oh my gosh, we might have to go take a look at that. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit smaller than the rest of the spacecraft, the space station, so you'll see if we go there, it will be a little bit more crammed. But we're going, you can look all the way back to the back of the spacecraft, which is where the Russian segment is. And then you could look all the way forward to the front of the spacecraft, where the Japanese laboratory, the European laboratory, and the American laboratory are. And then back to the solar arrays where we started this morning when we were looking out the Japanese window. So other questions that were here are, what would you recommend as a job, if so, and to what type of person would want to be an astronaut? I think people who would like to explore, of course people who like math and science, that's what this is all about. We have people in the office who are doctors, teachers, veterinarians, engineers, pilots, so all sorts of people become astronauts, and I think if you see it's just sort of cool, so I think people who like to do a little adventure and like to do cool stuff probably usually become astronauts.
Okay, so we go down from cupola and then we finish our tour. I hope you liked it. It's a great space station, beautiful, a lot of different things to show, and it's great to float around here. Everything's floating around you, and a beautiful view. So I hope you liked the tour. I hope it's a bit clear. Even I get confused sometimes. So yeah, it's an interesting place.